We're not psychologists. That does require a definite a diagnosis, but we are going to talk about what people go through when they talk about divorcing a narcissist. Okay. It is always a pleasure to be here with you. Lori Barkis, Sustainable Family Solutions. We are a Colorado and Florida-based family law firm. We work primarily with women, and our goal is for you to have a successful divorce. I have been doing this for a long time, more than 20 years. I've done my share of high conflict litigation. So when people call and they say, I think I'm married to a narcissist, do you know what that means? Yes, I do. Yes, I absolutely do. And I know what I'm dealing with, and I know where to go from that. Just a quick warning. There is the word narcissist is used an awful lot. It is used by people who did not actually diagnose a person. I'm not getting into any of that. Whether somebody is truly a narcissist, whether they have narcissistic personality disorder, requires an actual diagnosis. I'm not a psychiatrist or a mental health professional. I am talking about a specific set of characteristics of somebody who generally acts in a way of all or nothing thinking, that tends to focus on blame, that doesn't look at their own actions, that can be rather volatile and can make a divorce process very difficult with a lot of threats, with a lot of evasive behavior, and how to handle those situations. So again, I'm making no diagnosis, but I'm assuming that you're dealing with somebody who was either diagnosed as a narcissist, that you think is a narcissist for whatever reasons that you have, or you think that you're dealing with that behavior. So we're going to talk about three things. I'm going to break this down, and I want you guys to remember these words. Any of you who is dealing with this, you need to plan, protect, and prevent. So I'll start with that, and we will again break those down, but very, very important. How do you handle this person who may have even said some of these things to you, that they're going to destroy you, you're going to leave with nothing. If you do this, they're going to run everything into the ground. Or maybe they've switched gears and said, no, just go to mediation. I promise I'll be fair. I will tell you what, yeah, our personal favorite here, when somebody tells you I will be fair, but tells you not to talk to a lawyer and not get any financial information.
That's not fair.
Right. That is not fair. That is not fair.
Listen. Do not listen.
Right. Do not listen to either of those. Again, Robin and I are all about planning and strategy. We're not about scorched earth. We're not trying to take you down a path of destroying anybody. We want you to be successful in your life after divorce. So that's why we start with planning. And Robin, my dear friend and colleague, is the first person you call. You need to understand your financial situation very, very clearly. You need to go into this with information. Information is one of the biggest things that will save you from emotional conversations. Robin will help you figure out what documents she needs, what needs to be analyzed, what the next steps are. You may or may not need to work with an attorney at that stage. You definitely will at some point, but in the planning stage, what you want to focus on is understanding everything from the financial perspective, not the other person's perspective. Documents, numbers, have a professional run through that with you. Fully invest in that process. And your other part of planning is, this could be a battle. This could cost money. We're going to talk about ways to mitigate that. But at the same time, this isn't the time to find the cheapest lawyer or the free consultation that gives you nothing. This is the time to understand that you're going to need some financial resources. And you don't want to be in a situation where you start this process and you stop midway through because this person ran you out of money. So you're going to plan. And that is a big part of planning.
Yep. And it's where to find the paperwork. What if you haven't had access? How do you find that? To go to an attorney beforehand, you can't do any. I mean, you can't do anything. There's no information there, right? I mean, you can maybe do a little bit, but not much. So we need to plan it. We need to find the documents, because the lawyers, the attorneys are going to need that. You're going to need that information. So that is all part of the planning. And really, it's not the attorney's job, right, to find those documents. Right, they're for the legal aspect of it. So when it gets into that part of it, if they're blocking it, then we find the attorney that can help us possibly unblock it or whatever needs to be done there, right? So that's all that planning part of it. And you should work with your attorney and a financial planner, divorce planner to help with that. Correct, Lori?
Absolutely. Robin's making some great points. And especially at the outset, it's very important to have as much information as you can before you're meeting with an attorney. Because if Robin's right, if I don't know the numbers, I'm guessing, and I don't want to guess. There's a lot of attorneys who will try to sell you and say, oh, well, it sounds like this person is very successful and don't worry about it. I'm going to get you a ton of money, but they don't have the data to back that up. So if at all possible, you gather that. And Robin will help you with that. You may be somebody who has never looked at any of this financial stuff. You don't know the bank accounts. You don't know the credit cards. That's okay. We hear you. We've got you. We know that's common. So without judgment and with all of the support that we have, Robin's going to work with you on that. It might be that we can't get the information voluntarily. And yes, at that point, if you file a divorce case, then you're asking for it. But again, we're already anticipating we're dealing with somebody who's going to be difficult. So the more we can gather, and sometimes you don't think you have or know the information, but we've done this a lot. Sometimes we can help you figure it out or find it, or did you see this, or what do you have? So the more we can put together before we file against this narcissistic person, we're already ahead of the game, as opposed to we're going to start spending a lot of money chasing those documents. So absolutely, that planning is so crucial.
Correct. Now, you made a great point, and I don't want to get too